Hello there. Long time no see. Sorry about that. So, welcome to the video channel if you're new, and also my voice, I suppose. Since it's been quite a while, I just wanted to say thank you so much for all the views and subscribers. I honestly never thought this channel would get that big, so it's quite a surprise, thank you. Just wanted to say a quick thank you to BenQ for sponsoring this video. They've been lovely enough to send me one of their products, the WIT e-reading desk lamp. I'll be doing a quick unboxing at the beginning and a quick review at the end of the video, and there'll be links in the description for people that are interested in grabbing one. So today's video is about how I create my own videos. It'll mainly be focusing on tweening, and just as a disclaimer, I do not do things perfectly. There's a lot of ways to do it better than me, so take my advice with a pinch of salt. So as I mentioned before, this video is sponsored by BenQ, who sent me this really cool lamp. It's LED, so there's no bulbs to pop, and if, like me, you're always at the computer, there's a lot of cool features that help you deal with eye strain and prevent it. So here's a quick time-lapse of me unboxing it. It was super easy and simple to set up. It's literally putting a thing on a thing and it's all sorted and ready to use. It even came with a converter, so you don't have to worry about it fitting into your home or not. So here it is all set up on my desk. It's nice and sturdy, it's super high up so it doesn't blind me at all like most of the lamps do. So the back button on the top of the lamp turns it on and off, and this dial here does two things. It changes the intensity from bright to faint, or it changes from blue light to orange light, which, well, I'll show you now in a moment. So blue light is best for when you're working with screens, and orange light is best for when you're working at your desk with just a book, so studying, reading, anything like that. So this is what it looks like when it's on, and this is what it looks like when it's off. Please ignore the fingerprints on my tablet, poor thing hasn't been cleaned recently. Righty, now this is all set up, let's get on with the next part, shall we? So the first thing I do when I think of a video is, I want to get my idea down straight away, so I'll sit at my notebook and scribble a really dumb, bad version of what I want. I'll give you a few examples. So, this is thumbnailing for Submerged, a Country Humans video I did a while back. If you haven't seen it, you can look it up here. I use these little arrows to show where I want to tween it. The up next to his head shows where I want his face to move up, and the down next to his shoulders shows I want to move it down. It kind of only really needs to make sense to me, as I'm the only one that sees this. Since the idea is already in my head, all I need to do is get out the exact frame thumbnail I want, and to know if it works well in the scene. Sometimes it isn't exactly how I want it. You might notice at the bottom here it's actually different from the video. I change my mind during production sometimes of how I want it, so instead of whales coughing up water, I decided to go with a shot that looks more like he's drowning. So you'll probably notice that the ones on the right here look a little closer to the actual video itself. This is because I didn't like how the first ones looked, so I wanted to change it up a bit. So see the arrows where I want to tween, and you'll probably see here the new, more accurate drowning thumbnails. So I do a few other things when I don't quite know how I want it to look. So here's my everyday thumbnails. There's some bits like here, where I didn't quite know what I wanted. I wanted Bird's memories to be on the screen behind him, so I just scribbled some words there. And that isn't actually in the final videos, nor is the stopping and looking up. On the underneath here, I've just written a list of things I wanted to be seen in the flashbacks. And underneath that, there's some tiny little thumbnails of what I wanted them to look like. Thumbnailing is great because what it does is it helps me figure out exactly what I want to see in the video before I actually start creating it, which means that when I start making the actual drafts for the images itself, they look kind of what I already want them to look like. It just helps make the process a bit faster. Obviously this isn't a required step as it's not actually needed in the final video, but it just helps me get my brain sorted out. It also means I don't have any strange parts of my video where I actually haven't got anything ready. That used to happen a lot. So the next thing I do once I have a nice idea of what I want the video to look like, is I'll make out a sketched version of each part. I tend to use Clip Studio Paint nowadays, but I've used Paint Tool SAI and Metabang in the past. Clip Studio Paint's great, but that's another story. If I'm tweening a part, I'll make sure, like you see here, that each body part is separated into its own layer. You'll see why, but it's mainly so I don't have to cut it all up in After Effects. It just makes it a lot easier to animate if each part's separate. The sketch doesn't have to be super finalized, but the neater it is, the less fiddling I'll have to do once it's all lined and colored. So, when you're creating a new project, you'll always want to click either New Composition or From Footage. From Footage is best if you have your sound, but I don't, so I'll go New Composition. Here's my composition settings. So what I'm now going to do is to drag the exact PSD into here, You'll want to make sure you're actually saving it as a composition, because that way you can edit everything individually. So I'll put it into the scene here. And as you can see, everything's already here. If I double click on bright here, you'll see the head and the body are already separated into their own compositions. And then inside there is the PSD files for each layer. So the first thing I want to do in After Effects is to rig the character, or the part, that I'm about to animate. This means making sure all the anchor points, so the bits that rotate from where it transforms from, is where it naturally would be on the body. And once the anchor point's all sorted, I'll just put the body part back where it's supposed to be. One really useful tip for rigging quickly is when you've selected your layer, you press the A key to open up the anchor point, and P to switch to the position. This makes the process a lot quicker and a lot more time efficient. So when you have limbs that connect to each other, like the elbow to the arm and the hand to the wrist, you'll want to parent them. On the bottom you'll see parent and link. You'll want to drop that down and pick which body part it connect to. So the elbow would connect to the arm, and my hand layer would connect to the elbow layer. And as you can see here, whenever I move the back of the whole arm will move as well. Now that the rigging's all finished up, it's time to start animating. So the first thing I want to do is I want to figure out where I want the animation to stop, so I'll put a keyframe there and at the beginning, and then I'll put the keyframes in the center of where I want to start animating. So here you'll see on the left I'm using the P and R keys in order to open up the position and rotation, and I'm using those to find exactly how I want to animate them, and due to the anchor points they're all rotating where they should be. You'll probably also notice these diamond shapes turning into hourglass shapes. This is the Easy Ease tool. If you right click, use Keyframe Assistant, and then Easy Ease, it will make your animations look a lot smoother. A few other tips as well. One thing to keep in mind is that if you're trying to animate the entire body, there's never going to be one part of the body that's stationary. So with this bright, I'm still going to animate the back of the head, I'm still going to animate the body, because despite the fact they're not actually moving, because of the motion from the arms and from the head, the body would technically still move in real life. So I'm only adding about a 1% or 2% rotation, but it's still something. It makes it look a lot more lifelike. So here you'll see me animating the face. He's not exactly going to be changing expression, but I still want it to move because, as I said, nothing is going to be stationary. So I'll have the eyebrows move up a little bit, I'll have the eyes go from a little bit squinted to a little bit more outwards, and I'll use that with the scale tool. Same with the mouth, I'll have that scale outwards a little bit just so he's smirking a little bit more. And then you'll see with the hair as well, because hair tends to swish whenever you move your head, I'll have that just rotate a little tiny bit. So another pro tip, you'll probably notice all my animations don't end at the same time. And that's because they're offset a little bit. That's because if you think about it in real life, nothing actually stops at the exact same time. For example, the hair would stop swishing at a different time to when the hand stops waving. It just helps it give that little something, make it look more alive. So here's the finished bright animation. You might have noticed he's missing his necklace. And that, my friends, is why we do a sketch first, because I probably would have forgot that in the final product. There's a couple of things that I'm going to fix when I do the lining and colouring, mainly having the hairline on the actual head layer instead of being as part of the front fringe, and other things just like neatening up lines, etc. But that is how I tween. So my next step is lining and colouring this and making sure everything works in the composition itself. So all the music, all the backgrounds, all of that kind of thing. So one thing to remember when you're lining and colouring is to always keep the same amount of layers. If you're missing a layer, or if you have an extra one in your PSD when you save, your entire composition will mess up. Really, it sucks. Maybe back up your old file just in case. You really don't want to tween the whole thing again. So as you can see here, everything is lined and coloured in its separate layers. There's no extra layers anywhere. Once this is all finished up, all you need to do is save the image, and After Effects will update the PSD so all the layers are now coloured. So there's a few things wrong with the bright in After Effects now, but they're only tiny, they took about 5 minutes. The most jarring thing was the hand and the hair were on the wrong layer. This was just dragging the hand behind the arm, and with the hair I moved it out of the head and to behind the neck, parented it to the head, and positioned it to where it should be. The fringe was also a bit too low down, it clipped a little. I moved it up to the perfect position so it didn't clip anywhere. The elbow also wasn't quite connected right here, so I just moved it around a little until it looked good. And then I noticed the hand clipped through the shirt. This wasn't fixable with tweening, so I'll just go back into the PSD and edit how the shirt looks. And here's the final finished tween. So this is how I tween most of my videos. Frame by frame is a whole other story for a future video. All that's left now is the composition. I am a terrible boy that edits all of my videos in After Effects. Don't do what I do and use Premiere, please, or Vegas. Just, please, you'll save yourself work. So just as a final thing, I just want to show you what the insides of a completed video looks like. So here's the inner workings of my Oblivion meme. This is quite an old video, so I haven't actually got any of my easy easing on there, but again, I would recommend it, it just makes it look a whole lot better. You'll notice the text here at the beginning, you got some backgrounds. I also tweened the caution signs so they have motion blur on them. Motion blur is pretty simple, it's just turning this button on, then this button. If you can't see that one, then use toggle switches and modes down the bottom here, and it should work. So this is the bird that you'll see at the beginning of the Oblivion video. He looks quite a bit different to how he does nowadays, but hey ho. You'll notice all his body parts have the anchor points in the right place, they're all animating how I want them to. It's basically the same as I did with Bright. You'll probably also notice that there's lip syncing here. So lip syncing with tweening is pretty simple. It's just a case of changing the scale, stretching it, squashing it, all that kind of thing, having different layers for each vowel sounds, and then just having them play over each other. Kinda like how you see here. So yeah, that's what this video looks like. All of it was done tweening, there's no frame by frame whatsoever. Unless you count the mouth tweening as frame by frame, but it isn't really. Again, a final note, please for the love of God, don't composite your videos in After Effects like me. It's probably not a good idea. You will honestly save yourself time and energy doing it in Premiere. It's a lot simpler than this. I am just very lazy. And that's how I tween all of my videos. I hope some of this has helped you. If it hasn't, then sorry. Just want to say another thank you to BenQ for sponsoring this video. I really like the lamp they sent me. It's really good for my eyesight. I usually use it instead of my light in my room, which doesn't really make any sense, but hey ho. If I'm completely honest with you, I do think it's worth the money, but the only issue is the money. If you can afford it, then I really would recommend it. If you can't afford it, then honestly, you're probably just better off with the normal lamp, though do know that having a lamp on next to your desk isn't always the best idea. It depends on the light bulb you have. Though don't listen to me, I'm not a real doctor. Teehee. And I just want to apologize for being really absent. I have been going through a lot of things. I finished university, got a job, blah blah, life things. I really do miss animating, and I really want to make some more SCP videos, so hopefully you guys should see from me soon. Maybe. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. Like and subscribe. I'm running out of things to say, so I'm gonna end the video, bye!